What is up, everybody? It is AJ. I am here with my man Mike Finch. We apologize for the slight delay, but we're here live. It's a live action, baby. Mike, what's up, dude?
What's up, AJ? I'm good, brother. Good to see you guys. I brought the Christmas spirit today. Got the ugly sweater on. Let's go talk some fights, guys. I'm pumped. How are you, AJ?
I'm doing good, man. I'm looking forward to breaking down this card with you. Always fun to do this money line. I think it's episode 4, man. So we're getting close to that number 5, bro, which is halfway to 10. That's pretty good, man.
We rolling, as Burt Watson says. We rolling. So let's keep going, baby. I like it. Hey, we had some wicked fist fights last weekend, man. It's one of those cards where I'm like watching it over and over. I gotta see Nunes lose again, you know. I gotta watch Oliveira get through that first round and come back and get that back over and over again. I keep watching these fights. Such good action.
Dude, that card was absolutely fucking bananas. For me, my favorite fucking card I've seen in a long time. When Pena lost, I was like, damn, man, I should have just fucking threw some at it because I was talking in the fight companion. I was talking about, hey, you know, what if? Like, I feel like that would cap it off as like a all-time night, and it ended up happening, bro. That was fucking nuts. And then Oliveira in the main, I was not disappointed with the loss on the pick on that one, simply because Poirier did what I thought he could do, but he couldn't get the finish. And there's really nothing else he could have done there unless he would have maybe slowed the pace. But Oliveira, if you're not pressuring him, is so dangerous, man.
Poirier's hands looked phenomenal. I thought Oliveira's head movement could have used a little work in that first round, but he pushed Poirier, man. He went right to him. And what ended up happening was he was able to slowly get a hold of Poirier, slowly make Poirier kind of come into his game. And we were talking about it, man. Charles had more ways to win that fight. So when it hit the ground, like even if you rock Charles Oliveira, you don't even want to follow up. You don't want to get armbarred, triangled, guillotined, rear naked choked, right? No, you don't even want to go in there. So he just had more ways to win. He made it happen, man. Awesome fist fight. I hope we get Nate Diaz and Poirier now. Perfect. It's perfect.
That's, dude, it couldn't have worked out better, man. And then potentially the winner fights Connor. So some exciting fights, man. I'm looking forward to get into this card, though. The last one of the year, bro. This is unfortunate, man. I'm disappointed, bro. I wish there was finished out every week besides Christmas weekend. Give me the January 31st card or something like that.
That's right. That's right. It's tough for these fighters, man. They got Christmas and they're cutting weight and stuff. So at least this year, everybody gets Christmas nice and fat and happy. But for our selfish needs, yeah, where's the year-end card, guys? We like that New Year's card.
Yeah, I think Ryzen has one, though. So that might be something to look at. It'd be MMA, so I'm interested.
I'm interested.
Well, guys, we are going to jump to the predictions. Smash that like button if you're tuning in. If you're new, subscribe. We're going to start it off. First fight of the night. It is Matt Sayles and Jourdain Leavitt. Mike, lead the way on this first fight of the night.
Thank you very much, dude. Leavitt is dynamic on the mat. It was fun kind of researching more of his old fights and kind of going back and looking at all the different submissions he's been able to hit, all these Darce chokes and arm bars and Kimuras, and he's got good takedowns. I like how he chooses to lift when he gets a body lock on somebody. You'll see everybody, they go to these single legs or double legs where they just pull the hips out from the fence. He actually likes to lift up, which I used to train with this guy, Asif Oscar. So hard to stop when somebody lifts you up like that. I really like his style of grappling. And the Monkey King, that's cool nickname, right? So I like this guy. He's a wild man. He likes to slap people when he fights, make crazy gestures. You know, he likes to play head games. My type of fighter. I'm a big fan. Sayles is a great kicker and real dynamic. You know, he's going to be a hard guy to control, mentally tough. He showed how he could survive adversity when he fought Brian Hansen. That was in World Series of Fighting. And he was essentially knocked out in the first round of that fight, came back to win that decision. So has showed some adversity. He might need that. I believe the odds are really close on this one, right, AJ? Let me pull those up.
They were originally pick'ems. At the moment, it's a little bit towards Leavitt, but you're finding it at about minus 105 each. You can find it upwards of plus 110 for Sayles, though. So technically speaking, dog is Sayles.
Fair enough. And then I'm going to go for the ever so slight favorite, Jourdain Leavitt. I like Leavitt in this fight. I feel like he gets it done on the ground. And if he can get some takedowns in this fight, he could end up dominating this one. Big fan of Leavitt's.
I'm with you, bro. I actually think Leavitt is really nasty on the floor. He goes in there with Pueyas, and now Pueyas has looked good because he went out there and beat Chris Grutzmacher. That's a big win. Leavitt having a loss to that guy doesn't look bad. Improve the cardio, which is something that can be worked on because that's kind of a weakness he showed. Continue to get better. I think Matt Sayles stylistically is this is a bad matchup for him. If it was Striker, coming out there against Matt Sayles, I actually do like his stand-up game. I think he's got some nasty abilities on the feet. But fighting a guy who's going for takedowns, looking to control him. We saw it with Bryce Mitchell last time out. Granted, a little bit of a level difference. I think Leavitt dominates. Potential submission, but I'm thinking 3 rounds, unanimous decision.
That makes sense to me. Submission also makes sense. So if you guys like the submission, maybe consider. But this show is Moneyline, brother. Just go Leavitt.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I think just go Leavitt here and play it safe. We're both on them, so that's a good thing, man. I think the odds are in our favor right now for this bet, and it's a good bet, man. Money line, it's close.
I like it. Yeah, the odds aren't crazy. I would think Leavitt would be more of a favorite than that, so I do like the odds on that one.
Well, we're gonna keep running up. That's a damn good first one. I'm honestly super pumped for this card. Like, to finish out the year, they gave us a pretty decent one, even through the prelims. Next one, Dontel Mays and Josh Parisian. It was a tricky one for me to pick looking at the matchup because if you think about the stand-up game, neither guy is top level. Both guys have striking abilities. I think Parisian is a little bit more unpredictable, could potentially sneak in an overhand. I think in this fight, though, he's so used to being the bigger man. I think that will really throw him off here with Dontel Mays. I feel like Mays does have some knockout power. Parisian durable, leaning towards 3rd round TKO Dontel Mays on this one, but it's not crazy confidence, and I think Parisian is in it. What about you, man? I'm curious your take.
Look, Mays gave Gane a decent fight, before getting heel hooked, right? He got heel hooked by who gets heel hooked by Cyril Gane? What are you doing, Dontel Mays? Come on, man. Come on. You can't be letting Cyril Gane twist your knee apart. But with that being said, he's had success going to the body Gane had success going to the body first, which Parisian should take notes on, right? That's available. Ultimately he won by that heel hook, but I think that Mays is just much more of a physical specimen. Like there's definitely something about being in there with somebody who's significantly stronger than you. And I like his movement. I really do think Mays is much more mobile. And, despite Parisian being a finisher, I do like Mays in this fight. Look, Parisian does well when he puts punches together for a knockout. He's a big man who spins, whether it's kicks or punches, spinning back fist KO on a Dana White Contender Series. I'm sure you guys remember. He's got a strong mount, big guy. But I just am leaning Dontel Mays here. I think he has that advantage of the mobility. And because he's mobile, he'll kind of be hard to track down with some of those spinning techniques. When somebody's moving a lot on you and you're going to set like a spin up on them, you really have to time their movement perfectly. Like if I'm going to spin and do a spinning back kick, I need you to go that direction so I can catch you when I spin. It's easier said than done. A lot easier to kind of spin on somebody who's standing in front of you. Kind of takes one of Parisian's best weapons away. I like Mays in this one, man. I'll go with the decision.
I like that, man. And I agree with Parisian. Like, I do actually got to say, I enjoy watching him fight. He goes out there, puts it on. He had a hard road to the UFC. It took him a while. But when you're fighting a physical specimen in this matchup, Dontel Mays, physically, I mean, he has a similar, not like the exact same muscle tone, but Cyril Gane is like a comparable fighter.
Yeah.
And just fighting a guy that size is got to be extremely difficult. Now add in martial arts training to him, competing in the UFC. I don't think Josh Parisian can compete with the physicality here.
Yeah, I mean, you can compete with the physicality when the skill level is extreme, like when it's big difference, right? I always get in arguments with non-fight fans about these types of things. Like, back in the day, it was always like, could Ronda Rousey beat, so-and-so in a real fight, like a man?
LeBron James.
Exactly. And it's like the reality is, me and you have even talked about this off air. The reality is Mighty Mouse, the 125-pound champion, will beat LeBron in a real fight because he's going to get his back. He's going to put one arm under his neck. The other arm's going to go behind. He's going to squeeze. And it doesn't matter how wide LeBron's shoulders are or how big his hands are. He's going to be choked unconscious because martial arts work. Now, you made a good point, which is the skill level isn't that extreme. Once the skill level starts closing, LeBron James with like 5 MMA fights. Yeah, he might take Mighty Mouse. You have to get to that point. Mays is at that point. The skill gap is not enough for Parisian position to have that significant advantage.
Yeah, agreed 100%, bro. I like the way that you put that too. Looking at the odds here, the bookies agree. It's about minus 180 for Don'Tale Mayes, plus 170 Parisian. I'm not crazy about the knockout prop bet, even though I am leaning third round knockout. It's about plus 150, plus 170. I could see this fight definitely playing out decision here. If it goes over 2.5, you're looking at minus 103. I mean, if you were looking for maybe something to play with the over-unders, but with heavyweights, I personally would stay away and just enjoy the festivities, or maybe money line Don'Tale Mayes in this one.
Derek Lewis is fighting tonight. Who knows when we're going to a decision or not in the heavyweight division?
Facts. Great fight, man. This card, I like it, bro. I know that it's not, as good as last week, but I'm appreciative of still getting some good action the week out before the break.
So many good matchups, man. Some of these, I text AJ before we go on. It's like some of these I'm researching. It's like I got to keep digging deeper and deeper because it is hard to pick some of these fights, man. Some of these girls are matched up real well. This is a fun one. You guys are going to see some rising stars come out of this card.
Raquel Pennington versus Macy Chiasson. I'm excited to see these two go at it. I'm feeling the underdog, Macy Chiasson here. I feel as though the striking can be the difference maker. Can she stay away from Raquel Pennington? One thing Pennington is so good at, she clinches you up, she presses you, she works towards takedown. She's not a bad striker. I mean, look at her losses to Holly Holm. She's not an easy girl to beat. But in this fight, you have an aging Raquel versus, an up-and-coming Macy Chiasson, tall girl, 5'11", 72-inch reach, has shown good stand-up in the past two. I think that we can see unanimous decision, Macy Chiasson in this fight right here, man. I got it. What do you think, bro? What do you think? I got her.
You just picked the underdog, and I'm jumping on the underdog train, dude. I like this fight for her. Here's one reservation I have, is she took it on somewhat short notice. Raquel Pennington was originally scheduled to fight another girl. They had to switch them out. That's why Rocky's coming up in weight. This is at 145. Am I mistaken? This is at 145.
Wait. Let me double check.
Am I mistaken?
Yes, it is 145.
Yes. We've never seen Fat Rocky. I've never seen Fat Rocky. I don't know what that looks like. Just kidding around, Raquel Pennington. We're making jokes. Thank you. I appreciate that. She is an excellent boxer, very patient. Raquel Pennington definitely is in every fight, right? It's very hard to put her away, very hard to bother her too much. With that being said, though, I like how you put it because this young girl is so hungry. It's like, who's hungrier? I think for sure, Macy Chiasson, right? Macy said herself, she talked about it. She says, now I have to fight real fighters. Well, here's a real fighter, Macy. This is a big opportunity for her. I like how she applies pressure. I think the size advantage will come into play in this fight. Good fight. Hard to pick against Rocky. Rocky low key is like one of Dana White's favorite fighters, right? So I'm always nervous about picking against like the company people because they get the right matchups. The hotel room might be a little bigger. They kind of show some love. I am gonna pick against Rocky. I'm going Macy. I'm going decision. I picked this as a good fight. One of the fights of the night. Rocky's going to put up a fight, but I think Macy's more hungry. She gets it done.
I like it, bro. Underdog city today. And it is Macy Chiasson plus 155. I think that's great money. Looking towards some props, not ones that I'm loving, besides maybe you bet Chiasson wins by a decision, but potential, but I don't love it. Looking at fight goes the distance, minus 240. I like just straight underdog money line, Macy Chiasson, if you're betting this one here.
Agreed. I'm going straight money line, just like the show's called. Go straight money line, guys. I like this pick.
Let's go, man. Let's keep on moving, man. We got some more action to talk about. The next one, it is Charles Jourdain and Andre Ewell. Mike, we know Andre Ewell moving up a weight class from 135, was knocked out down a weight class. Do you think the chin is potentially something to worry about? Or do you think more of a rehydration now? Maybe he takes a better punch. He's getting a little older. This isn't a young Andre Ewell. At this point, 33, nearly 34, featherweight division. He's not a spring chicken in the weight class anymore. Jourdain's young.
Fair enough, but at least Ewell is very mobile. He's a very mobile striker, right? I like his kicks from a distance. I like that long left hand he throws down the pipe. I think the question for me is like, is Andre Ewell's grappling UFC caliber? You know, is Chris Gutierrez, you know, gonna just take him down again every fight? Like you saw the Chris Gutierrez Andre Ewell fight. He was able to take him down in that fight, and he you know, Gutierrez almost KO'd him at the end of the first. You know, Chris had him like in the zip code of a triangle as the third round ended. I think, look, I think, you know, it's tough to talk about the grappling aspect. That's kind of where I'm seeing this fight go down potentially here. So, you know, Julia Ars put some punches together and knocked him out. So there's that as well. It's tough. Jourdain, here's a fun fact for you. You ready for this one, AJ? Jourdain is an inch taller than Ewell, but is at a 6-inch reach disadvantage.
Ewell's a lanky man, bro. I've always noticed like he's got those crazy long arms, dude.
Whoa, that is insane. That is insane, right? That's here's another crazy stat for people. John Jones has a longer reach than Stefan Struve. Like some of these guys just got these freaking wings, dude.
Yeah,
you
I don't know how that's possible. Like it doesn't really make any sense. I think it's supposed to be like 2 inches longer than your height is average. I believe 1 or 2 inches longer.
And there's a huge discrepancy here between Ewell and Jourdain. So will that play a factor? Like, will he be able to keep him out at bay? Tough fight for me to pick, honestly. Really tough fight for me to pick. I just think that Jourdain needs to use his kicks. He's more of a technical striker. I do like him in this fight. You know, Ewell's a good athlete. Ewell could make this thing a fight. Tough to bet against him. I'm going to go Jourdain. Out kickboxes him, wins a decision.
I like it, man. I like it. I'm on Jourdain as well. Ewell, you know what? Not being a big puncher, I think is actually a big weakness in this fight. Charles Jourdain was able to knock out Doo Ho Choi a while back. He dropped Julian Erosa. There is knockout power when you fight a guy like him. I think he could touch the chin of Ewell for sure. Rehydration, Ewell could be coming out better than last time for certain. But he was knocked out in his last fight. When you see guys get knocked out once, as we talked about the mental game too, look at what Jairzinho Rozenstruik did to Sakai, and then last weekend, Tai Tuivasa crumbles him. I'm thinking knockout.
The shoey.
That was, I drank that shoey.
I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. Good. You put on for the fans. Everybody at home, he did the shoey for you guys, okay? He did the shoey for you. That's love.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I feel like this right here could be a Jourdain knockout. I'm thinking second round knockout, potentially, but I could see decision. I could see
hands or his legs?
Hands. I think he needs to close distance big, though. I mean, at the end of the day, Ewell's a long guy. He doesn't have a bad jab. I give credit where it's due, but he just has a hard time keeping guys off of him. People can get inside, and I see Jourdain closing the distance. We're going Jourdain.
You use that word crispy when you talk about somebody striking, right? That's a classic AJ word. Yeah. Ewell's striking is not crispy. He doesn't have a snap. Right? He doesn't snap a jab down the pipe.
He's got a long jab, but he doesn't have a snapping jab. He doesn't have a lot of pop behind. He's feathering it out there, I would call it. It's like fluff. It's fluff.
Exactly. And people don't respect it. You can't keep somebody at bay like that, you know? I got to meet my favorite fighter last year, Chuck Liddell. Jesus, that was this year. Chuck Liddell. And I was asking Chuck, I'm like, hey, you paw the jab out there and then you throw the big right hand. That's how you set it up, right? He said, no. He said, when I throw that jab, I throw that thing as hard as I can because I need them to respect the jab. Once they get their head out of the way of the jab, then you lay the right hand on them, right? Ewell never earns that respect with his punches. If he makes that change, that'll be a big difference in his game. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so we're both on Jourdain, man. And I like that Chuck Liddell legendary comparison right there because that makes sense because his jab never's impressed me, but he's long. And it's minus 180 Jourdain, plus 175 for Ewell. If I had to prop something here, let me see what we can do inside of it. Maybe Jourdain KO TKO plus 195. Don't love it. Maybe. Not a bad money line. Not bad money, but I like the money line more so.
Yeah. Yeah, especially after my parlay just blew up last week with Amanda Nunes losing. Like, guys, just money line that shit and get your money, dude. You know, just get your freaking money, bro.
Dude, that was a fucking great card, man. That was fantastic.
I was walking out of there with bags if it wasn't for Nunes. Bags, bro, bags. My card did great. Anyway, we're on these fights, guys. Money line it. And this is not financial advice, by the way, but money line.
All right, let's keep on running up the card. Let's get to the next one. It is Sijara Eubanks
That's
and
right.
Melissa Gatto. This one intrigues me. I
Mm,
feel like Gatto gets a rep as like being a good jiu-jitsu practitioner, but looking through Instagram, I believe she's only a purple belt. Sijara Eubank, competitive black belt. There's going to be a
yep.
clear difference on the floor. I think the wrestling edge, Sijara, strength physically, I think Sijara has her beat by a lot. I feel like Melissa Gatto kind of accept bad positions at times and be controlled. I see Sijara going out there and kind of running through her. Sijara's not a finisher. She got a finish in the last fight, but I don't see her as a finisher. She's a girl that can win dominantly, and that's what I'm taking here. I'm going dominance, unanimous decision, Sijara Eubanks over Melissa Gatto, and she is the favorite here. What do you think, Mike?
Look, I like this fight a lot, man. I like how we started with the jiu-jitsu because that could be a big factor here. Who is going to dominate the grappling in this fight, right? Eubanks is accomplished in gi jiu-jitsu. She's a multiple-time IBJJF champion. She has other weapons as well, of course. Remember the lead head kick she hit Bellator standout Deanna Bennett with on The Ultimate Fighter.
Classic.
Oh, dude. And Deanna Bennett's a beast. Like Deanna Bennett, I got to know pretty well when she was on that last card there, and for Bellator on the main card in Phoenix. And man, she looked phenomenal against Alejandra Lara. And I feel like Deanna Bennett's on the rise. She was able to knock her out. So this is a jiu-jitsu girl knocking out the well-rounded Deanna Bennett. So I really like that win. And looking back on a couple other ones, I saw against Sarah Morris, Eubanks gassed in the third. You could see her punches really slow down. She was able to revert back to her grappling base, to get the win. But will she be able to do that against Gatto? When I look at Melissa Gatto, I see like a really long, lanky puzzle to deal with. She's I like what I see from her on the ground. She's an attacker, AJ. She's constantly on the attack on the ground. Doesn't matter if she's on her back. Doesn't matter if she's on top. She's nonstop ground and pound arm bars. She's trying to get. I like her 1-2 down the pipe against Eubanks, that long 1-2. I like her at range in this fight. Look, man, I'm gonna lean underdog, and I think this is gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna say this is gonna be one where the bigger, stronger Eubanks starts to dominate the first round, starts to gas a little bit. 2-3 goes Gatto. I think Gatto steals the decision.
I like it. Wow, I like that opposite side, man. So definitely fight going the distance here. Seems like that's definitely agreed upon.
It's hard for these girls to finish each other because they're both pretty slick on the mat, right? With that being said, if there's a finish, I would think it would be to Eubanks' fatigue. Again, it's just something I saw looking back on some of the fights. Her slowing down, I don't see that out of Gatto. Gatto is in damn good shape, and I was going back to old fights of Gatto's in like 2015 and just seeing her evolution. I'm a fan. I'm interested to see how she looks against such an accomplished jiu-jitsu fighter across from her, somebody who can take her down. And how these two match up in that area. Very interesting fight. Not putting money on it myself. I'm going to stay on the sidelines for this one, but I'm going to lean Gatto. I'm going to go underdog.
I like it, man. Gatto is a plus 175 dog. Eubanks minus 155 favorite. Fight goes the distance is minus 160. I think likelihood of that is pretty decent. Not a terrible bet, but not one that I'm jumping at to the bit saying, oh, I want to play it. I do like Eubanks, but I could definitely see some possibility for Gatto. And at the end of the day, who is hungrier at this point could be a factor. Sijara, 36, nearly 37, 25-year-old Gatto. For Eubanks, this is I got to just beat the girl below me type fight. Whereas for Gatto, this is my chance to take on a girl who has a name, truly was on the way to being the Ultimate Fighter finalist, and then unfortunately is out. So, I mean, there's some respect to be had on Sijara's name that Gatto was there to take and earn herself that win on the resume. So
same story as the Pennington fight, man. I'm interested to see how these girls show out. Exactly. I like this matchup, man. This will be a fun one.
I'm excited. Let's keep on running up the card. The next fight of the night, Justin Tafa versus Harry Hunsucker. All right, so this matchup is interesting because I think we both agree these guys, strikers, they want to bang. They have some pop in the hands, but their chins have been tested. Both have knockout losses in the past.
Yep, exactly.
I feel like it's going to be stand-up. most likely, because what I've seen from Hunsucker, he comes in with a ferocious straight right and then I believe left hook behind it, just can rush in with it, leaves himself potentially open to counters when you take on a higher level guy. Tafa is there to be hit, not a crazy amount of head movement, doesn't have great defense. He's 4-3 as a pro. I am very torn on this matchup. I think there's a legitimate chance Hunsucker wins. If you talk betting to me, I say Hunsucker is the way to go all day. But you gotta lean Tafa. Just simply, we've seen a bit of durability in recent bouts. Yorgan De Castro slept him quickly, but he was able to survive with Felipe Vandera. Hunsucker, I would say, potentially has a similar range of power, maybe that a De Castro would have. So if something clean does land, I think it could end. I'm torn. I'm leaning Justin Tafa KO TKO though in the first round. Hunsucker will come at him crazy, probably get hit by some type of counter. But if he lands, it could be over. It's tricky, man. What do you think, Mike? Because this one's weird.
If he lands, it could be over. Every fight in the UFC heavyweight division, right? I mean, look, Tai Tuivasa knocked Hunsucker out by first off balancing him with a kick, right? And I like Tafa's kicks. You know, he's got a great body kick from the southpaw stance. You know, I like his striking fundamentals. You know, just having some sound basic defense can actually go a long way in the heavyweight division. I think he's less likely to get clipped. I think Hunsucker's going to come in there and eat a big right hand. I'll go Tafa KO.
I like it. We're both realistically picking Tafa KO. The bet side has to jump towards Hunsucker because you know what Tafa to win is? -310. On the opposite side, you're getting Hunsucker plus 280. If this was closer money, 100% would make me consider jumping on Tafa, but seeing how widespread it makes you want to play the dog. Hunsucker by KO would be the play. That's sitting at plus 550. Tafa by KO, you're looking at -175. So they're not giving you much.
The fight is closer than that. The fight is closer than that. Those odds are too wide.
Yeah, big time, big time. We'll go Tafa, but on the betting side, you're better off trying for Hunsucker with a little bit of something there.
That makes sense, man. Look, it's the UFC heavyweight division. How many times we got to say it? One boom down the pipe and it's a wrap, right? Those little gloves are not made for keeping long fights, right? The idea of a black glove, right? You can't really see it. The idea of it is just to kind of give you a big old rock to hit with so you can hit with your hands harder. This is perfect for the UFC heavyweight division, man. You cannot bet the house on a heavyweight fight in the UFC, you know? So when the odds are big like that, especially two punchers, that fight's closer to 50-50 than it is those odds.
Yeah, those odds are insane. The next matchup is interesting because it's Hani Barcelos versus Victor Henry. I really want to get your take on Henry coming in because we know he has some experience, 21-4. This isn't some new kid on the block that hasn't had fights. He's been in the game for a while, getting his big opportunity now. What do you think of this matchup, Mike?
I like Victor Henry. Look, I like his striking. He's dangerous for sure. The question for me, is his jiu-jitsu UFC caliber? You know, in some of his earlier fights, and I'm talking, I had to go pretty far back. He showed big holes in like his bottom game in his jiu-jitsu and some areas. So I'm wondering if Barcelos could get him on the ground, and if Barcelos does get him on the ground, how does that go? On the feet, I really do like Henry. I think it is reasonable to pick him in this fight just because he's going to be able to control the striking, use his takedown defense, use his wrestling defensively, keep it on the feet, sprawl and brawl. Chuck Liddell, we were talking about him. That's how you get it done, right? I would watch out for Barcelos on the ground at -340. I'm even interested in looking at it. The odds the way they are. I don't know. I think Barcelos could really go through a hole in this, right? I really want to see what he has off of his back. I have some questions that are not answered yet. My money's staying in my pocket, AJ. What do you think?
Yeah, man. It's like you want to touch Henry. Oh, maybe this dog is the one to come through, but Barcelos' game with high-level guys. He went in there with Timur Valiev. Fight should have been a draw. He made it a very competitive matchup. He's had big moments. He was on a roll and looking like it was going to be Barcelos as a contender. Kind of got set back a bit. Now they give him Henry, a debuting guy. It's almost like putting him in a really bad spot because if he loses this fight, you go from losing to Timur Valiev to now Victor Henry, who, not a bad record, but nobody really knows much about him at the UFC level.
High risk matchup, 100%. He needs to get a hold of him and drag him onto the ground, AJ. I think he does great in this fight. If I have to pick somebody, I'll go with Barcelos. But man, tough customer, strange matchup, and a lot of questions I want answered in this fight.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'll go Barcelos. Leaning potentially locking a sub up. Victor Henry, let's note
Yeah.
this, has not been finished. It's a professional, I believe. So durability is a factor. But when you get on the ground with a high level guy, I think Barcelos could be the one that gets the first finish on him. But leaning decision, torn on the prop there. Odds you're not going to play. I mean, looking at the straight money line bet on this one here, you're looking at minus 320 plus 294. Then you add it to a parlay, and these huge favorites sometimes tend to be the parlay buster, and they're not really giving you much back here.
Right. Right. No, I 100% agree, man. You know me, I'm Mr. Moneyline, and I would go Barcelos, but again, those odds, man, it has to line up, right? And it doesn't with this fight. The odds are a little too wide for me.
Yeah, Barcelos submission prop. Maybe you want to sprinkle plus 455. We'll take it there.
That makes sense. That's
sense. Something. That's worth something. Outside of that, no reason. I don't see a reason to play. Inside the distance, I do got to double check too. Plus 135. I don't know, man. I would rather just go for the submission jump more so, just because it's such good plus money to play. Plus 135. I'd rather play something else.
Agreed. That's the best bet you read me for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Those odds sound way better.
Yeah, those are way, way better. Let's keep on running up this card. Some good fights. I believe this is the featured prelim of the night. Gerald Meerschaert versus Dustin Stoltzfus. On the feet, I think this one could be closer than expected. I know Stoltzfus came into UFC more so known as a kickboxer. I don't know. Against Rodolfo Vieira, he showed some holes in the boxing game. Some straight punches were getting through. I didn't like to see that against a guy who's kind of just a Brutus striker, very stiff. Meerschaert is by no means elite kickboxer in MMA, but he has a decent game. He's got good pressure, long guy, and he has the threat of the fight being on the floor and him finishing Dustin Stoltzfus. I believe this fight will go to the floor at some point. I'm liking submission win for Gerald Meerschaert. What about you, man?
Gerald Meerschaert is my guy, bro. That's my Milwaukee dude. I was interviewing Meerschaert back when he was making his UFC debut, just coming onto the scene. I've been trickling around Rufus Sport just a couple times there. I've been able to see him train a little bit from a distance. Look, it's been cool to see his whole journey, man. And so you'll never see me pick against Meerschaert, especially in this matchup. Look, I saw Vieira take Dustin down a couple of times, like you were saying, get that rear naked choke. What happens if Meerschaert gets on top of him? I got Meerschaert's submission all day in this one.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree on that, man. That's good. We're both seeing it. Looking at the odds for that possibility here, Meerschaert, he's a minus 220 favorite, plus 200 underdog Stoltzfus. Looking at the submission prop, because I think that's where we're going. It's Meerschaert submission plus 175. So not amazing, but not bad either.
15 minutes, I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done. I like that bet. You guys know me. I generally go money line. If I were to bet on this one, probably going money line, but those odds are so much better on a submission. It'd be sweet to see it. And Meerschaert is going to be hunting for a submission in this fight for sure. As soon as he gets on top, he's trying to end it. Meerschaert's not the type of guy to hold for a decision. Meerschaert is trying to get you to tap that mat 3 times and get that referee to step in there. He's going to try to employ that submission attack. If he gets on top in this fight, I like him, man. I like him in this one for sure, especially his top game jiu-jitsu, head and arm chokes, rear naked chokes, right? I think he could get it done.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Exciting to see. I actually like Dustin Stoltzfus. He's always seemed like a good guy. Watched him on the Contender Series. That would be 3 losses in a row in the UFC, which might unfortunately give him the door. They're not giving him an easy road in the UFC. I mean, Vieira, elite level BJJ, Kyle Daukaus, who dominates Kevin Holland, unfortunate headbutt, but at the end of the day, he did get that submission in. Whatever was going to happen was going to happen. He's a decent fighter, and now you throw him Meerschaert, who's on a roll right now. So I think this is just an unfortunate door for Stoltzfus. Hopefully they give him a fourth go, but I'm going Meerschaert. I'm with you, bro. We're both on him here.
100%. Look at Meerschaert's submission record, man. How many has he got in that middleweight division? Insane amount.
I know in his whole career, not including like just UFC, he's got 25 wins by submission. That's crazy. He's submitted 25 people, or I mean, it might have been some rematches, but he's gotten 25 submissions off inside of, a cage. It's pretty fucking wild, bro.
The proof is in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen. The proof is in the pudding. Meerschaert shows out in these types of fights, man. This is a matchup I like for him.
Yeah, same, man. Well, we're going to jump to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe, turn those post notifications on. Keep it locked in here at MMA Experts, the money line coming at you guys with a
Woo!
sweet main card. Mike, I'm excited for this main card, man.
Oh yeah, come on.
The
Look how we're
final
kicking
main
this main
card.
card off. Come
The
on. Look how
final
we're
one.
kicking it off.
Final one of the year, unfortunately, guys. This is sad, man. This is the final main card of the year we're about to go through for 2021. But we got big, huge, really huge things coming in 2022. So it's going to be a wild year. I'm excited. I'll still be posting some videos up while we have the break as well, just to let the people know you won't be without content. I'll be here. Late night live will continue. Maybe me and Mike will get some type of talk thing going, some type of podcast to chat it
I'm
up
ready.
about whatever. So we'll keep some stuff flowing. But
I'm
let's talk
ready.
this main card. I'm glad you're ready, Mike. Let's let you then start it off because you are ready to go. Darren Elkins, Cub
Absolutely.
Swanson.
Woo!
Lead me in the right direction here. Where are we going?
We're going bloodbath, ladies and gentlemen, like every Darren Elkins fight is. Oh my God. How do you miss a Darren Elkins fight, man? When Darren Elkins is walking out, I'm like, hey, baby, come here. I get my wife in the room. I'm like, watch this guy fight. Wait till you see this shit, you know? He's got damage tattooed and fucking barbed wire. This guy's crazy. He's absolutely out of his mind. So I love watching Darren Elkins fight. And he's fighting my Huntington Beach guy. He's fighting Cub Swanson with the SoCal tattoo with the palm trees. How do I pick against either of these guys? This is crazy. I love the matchup. I think it makes perfect sense. How do you bet against the toughest human alive? That's really what it comes down to for me. You know, I could see Cub Swanson lighting him up on the feet like a Christmas tree. Okay. I could see Cub Swanson, you know, even doing okay in the grappling department. I mean, you know, Darren Elkins usually tends to wear on guys with the wrestling attack and the ground and pound and his unstoppable willpower to win. I think that the better fighter is going to lose. I think Cub Swanson's the better fighter. You got to respect him in this fight. Didn't have the best outing against Giga Chikadze, but who does? Giga Chikadze, I think people are slowly finding out, is one of the best fighters in the world. I've known it for a while. I've seen him train over here at King's MMA. You know, everybody's tough at King's MMA, but trust me, nobody looks forward to sparring Giga Chikadze. And Cub Swanson found out why. Cub Swanson ate that body kick and went down like everybody does to Giga. No harm done there, but you know, where's his head at coming into this one, right? I got some questions. You were saying earlier, when somebody gets knocked out, especially in the first round like that, you got to, you know, come in with some questions in their next fight. Darren Elkins knows who he is. Darren Elkins comes in confident. Darren Elkins finds a way to win this fight. I like Elkins.
Nice, man. You're going on the Elkins train. I like it. I am going to ride with the better fighter here. And at the end of the day, I got to respect the Elkins pick because when I talked about this one, I was very torn. When I was taking notes, I'm like, man, I could see Elkins just coming back from a rough first round. If Swanson follows a lot of Elkins fights, which I believe he 100% will, the best way to beat Darren Elkins is a patient approach. Even though he's going to come at you heavy, maybe look back to recent fights that he's been able to lose. Look at what these guys did. One thing I want to know, Cub Swanson known for a decent takedown defense. I believe his UFC official stat is like 60%. Not fantastic, but in actuality, I feel like Frankie Edgar was landing a lot of those damn takedowns on him because when he fought Frankie, you couldn't stop it. I don't see Elkins with the same level of threat. I can see Swanson going out there winning a decision. Not going to be an easy fight. And you know the damage is going to give it his all. I can see it maybe 29-28, maybe 30-27. Don't go in with the mindset, I'm going to beat Darren Elkins impressively. Go in with the mindset, I'm going to beat Darren Elkins. Because if you try to get impressive on this man, he's going to beat your ass because we've seen him come back so many times. So many times.
Well put. Well put. Don't go for the career performance. Stay behind your jab. Fight smart, right?
Yes.
That's how you beat Darren Elkins. Fighting smart. If he goes out there and he fights smart, look, he's got some of the best boxing coaches. Like Cub Swanson's gone in there and sparred with the best boxers in the world.
Like
and
Tim Bradley, I think he was at the same gym boxing with him when he was fighting competitively for the title.
100%. Same head coach they were using, right? So he was getting all the work down there. Look at the wrestlers he works out with, right? TJ Dillashaw. You go down a long list there. HBUTC who in Huntington Beach here. Incredible team they got over there. They just had a tall, lanky striker who just fought Piotr Jan.
You talking about Corey Sandhagen?
Corey
I said Rob
Sandhagen.
Font.
So-
I'm like, no, hasn't happened yet.
he trains with a lot of killers out there. So Cub Swanson for sure is training with some of the best fighters in the world. For sure comes in prepared. He's a smart dude, you know. If he comes in and stays behind that jab, I like him in this fight. Easier said than done against Elkins, man. I'll take Elkins with a late finish or maybe a split decision just because he's such a dog. He figures it out, you know. I can't bet against Elkins, man. I just can't do it.
I respect that, man. And there's good money on it. If you are going Elkins, you're looking at plus 175, Swanson around minus 180. I think a Swanson bet could be manageable. I think an Elkins bet is better because of the value. If the fight, even if it goes to Swanson, I could see you sweating that fight because you know Elkins has no quit. There's no quit in this guy. He's going to keep coming, keep coming. Swanson's going to be in his A game. I would lean towards like more of a no bet, or maybe you play the dog type situation. I feel like Swanson wins the decision, though. That's what I am going to pick here. If the odds were closer, if you gave me minus 110, I'd sweat this one and I'd take Cub Swanson. But the fact that we have a very competitive fight with odds that show of, a more clear-cut path, I'll pass on it. And I believe that momentum is a factor, as we've talked about. You look, Elkins on a win streak. You're coming off a bad loss for Cub Swanson. Yes, we can say, oh, he wants to come back. He wants that win. But you can also say, shit, he might be defeated. Fuck, I lost to this guy. Damn, what if I lose this one? What if I lose another one? Nerve-wracking.
They're just humans, you know. People look at them like race cars or something. They're humans, you know. Everybody gets nervous. You got to go get in a fist fight in the cage. It's a nerve-wracking experience. I will say this: very, very veteran guy, right? These both are veteran guys, you know. So definitely not the first time Cub Swanson's been knocked out. You guys ever seen Cub Swanson, Jose Aldo in the WEC? Damn, son! So he's come back from it before, you know. So all respect to him. Much love and respect to my Huntington Beach friends. I got to go Elkins.
Okay, I respect it. I'm gonna go Cub Swanson to give love to Huntington Beach, and but no bet for me, man. The value just isn't there for my liking on this one. But let's keep on running, man. We're gonna go to the next fight, and this one gets me super excited because we're about to find out if Mateusz Gamrot is that next guy. He's fighting Diego Ferreira. Ferreira's got excellent BJJ on the feet. He's a little bit awkward with the stand-up, kind of looping style of puncher with his boxing, but he's got some pop in the hooks. I feel like on the floor, he's always dangerous. He's not a bad wrestler. He's got pretty decent wrestling game, not elite level. He's still a jiu-jitsu-based wrestler, but he can take guys to the floor. Mateusz Gamrot, known for really good wrestling. He's showed nasty striking against Scott Holtzman. Mm-hmm. I feel like Gamrot has the wrestling edge and the striking edge. Pure jiu-jitsu, maybe you got to lean Ferreira. I'm going to go for the guy with more factors here. I think we can see Gamrot potentially clinching up, potentially keeping it on the feet, potentially even surprising us and going and manhandling Ferreira on the ground. But I'm not going to bank on that. But I will pick Gamrot to win this fight.
Yeah, Gamrot's so physically imposing. He's just such a strong, athletic dude. You know, you can't really move him around or bully him in that cage. And Ferreira might have a problem in that area. I like Ferreira. He is a dangerous guy. But, Gamrot's good everywhere, too. You know, he's a striker who has heel hook victories. Like, the guy can do MMA. I love his takedowns. I wish Gamrot would control people on the ground more. It would be nice to see him get some of that Dagestani juice flowing where these guys could just keep their 4 points, right? You got your 2 shoulder blades, your 2 hips. Keep those 4 points on the mat. If Gamrot could just dominate and top control, it would really help me bet on him. It would really make me more comfortable. I think that, he does love striking, though, so he takes maybe a little more risk than I like to go ahead and bet on a favorite. But I like Gamrot in this fight. I think Gamrot gets it done. Let's go decision.
I like it, bro. I'm with you on Gamrot. The odds for Mateusz Gamrot to win, you're looking at about minus 175. Earlier in the week, you could get it even lower. You could get it like minus 150. I'm on Gamrot too, man. I feel like Gamrot, more ways to win. I think that he is a dangerous stand-up fighter. He's got a nasty cross. And I feel like Diego Ferreira, I'm not saying he's there to be beaten, but he was stopped against Gillespie in the last one, lost to Beneil Dariush. He had a roll going after he beat Pettis. He definitely had the hype on his side, had some wins in a row. He definitely wants to bounce back. They're kind of feeding him to the Lions here in Mateusz Gamrot, who's a hungry up-and-comer who should be 20-0. He didn't lose that fight against Garam Kudalidze. Garam's nasty. He's really good, but he didn't lose that fight. Even Garam said after. So 20-0, really, I'm going undefeated. It continues. Mateusz Gamrot.
Agreed, right? The promotion is thinking that Gamrot this is like the next step for him type of thing. I think it all makes sense for Gamrot. Gamrot sounded really confident in his pre-fight interviews and whatnot. He's sitting there with those crazy glasses on that make his eyes like 3 times the size they actually are. And he's got a little style. I like him. I like Gamrot. Let's go Gamrot decision. I think this is sort of, he's getting introduced to UFC fans still. We're going to see this guy around a lot. Very dynamic guy and, a good test for him. It's the proper next step for Gamrot.
To add a little spice, I'm gonna go Gamrot KO. I'm gonna pick up my knockout here. I'm gonna give him the love. I'm gonna add a little spice to it. Gamrot by KO. The odds of that plus 300, worth a stab. Worth a stab. I like it. I like plus 300.
A stab it is, ladies and gentlemen.
A stab.
Ferreira, is he going to finish Ferreira? I'm going to stick decision.
I
like those odds. I like those odds.
The odds are forever in your favor.
I like that. All I think of is like 2 humans fighting each other, throwing their limbs at each other. You think like odds and whatnot. That's perfect, bro.
I think,
listen to AJ.
I see it. I see the fight first, and then I'm like, okay, there is a universe where this definitely goes down. I think Gamrot cracks him with the right hand, potentially. I feel like Diego Ferreira, maybe I'm banking a lot on the past because I've seen him knocked out before, but I feel like a guy that could do it is Gamrot. And coming in, if Gamrot does do it, the stock goes here. Decision is good. Great. You beat Diego Ferreira. He's a real good guy. Good win. Knockout, skyrocket this dude. And 100%. Plus 300 money, I think you can play it down. You can play it.
I like it, AJ. Sounds smart to me.
Well, let's keep on running up the card. The next fight of the night, Raphael Assunção and Ricky Simón. Assunção needs this fight.
Yeah.
He needs this fight. 3 losses in a row. He gets knocked out by Cody No Love. They give him a matchup against a young up-and-comer, 10 years younger, on the rise, Ricky Simón, who's got fantastic wrestling. He's a pressure fighter. Decent striking games, getting better. I know Uriah Faber happened to sleep him in 39 seconds, but that was one big punch. The fight game is crazy. I don't think that reflects the real skill level that Simón has. I feel like he's a guy to watch. Mm-hmm. I believe this is not an easy matchup, though. This is going to be a hard fight. Raphael Assunção needs to win, but I expect Simón to win a unanimous decision against a tough OG. What do you think, Mike?
Hey, there's a reason Assunção is an OG. It's because he can win a lot of fights against these guys. Look, he's well-rounded. That Cody fight was pretty close. People look back at that Cody fight like Cody beat his ass. Like, that was a close fight until Cody knocked him out, right? Which was the end of the. You remember what round?
Second round.
Okay, end of the second round. So up until then, I liked Assunção in that fight. Assunção's such an OG, dude. It's hard to beat him. Look, here's the key to beating Assunção. Keep shooting takedowns. If Simón keeps the grappling on him, keeps shooting, you might get stuffed once. You might get almost guillotined and have to get back out there. Shoot again. Keep putting pressure on him. Overall, I think he's going to wear on Assunção. I like Simón getting a decision in this one, using his wrestling, going to his base, getting a hold of Assunção, making it a tough fight, and maybe popping off with some big punches. Assunção hard to finish. I definitely am thinking this is going to go all 3.
I like it, man. I'm with you. Decision, Simón. But look at the odds for this fight. Not really a bet I want to go play. Minus 265, plus 240. Assunção's an OG. It's hard to bet against him at odds that big.
Agreed. Yeah. Minus 280. Is that what you said for Simón? Yeah. Odds are too wide,
big,
guys.
Dude. Big. Now, you could play fight goes the distance, minus 160. That's what I like here. If you're looking to play like a money line style bet, I feel like this fight does go the distance. That's where I'm leaning.
That makes sense. Now, I would real quick do a tapology on Assunção. Who was the last, besides Garbrandt, obviously? Who was the last guy to finish Assunção? Let me see here. Assunção, 27-8. My goodness, he's had a lot of fist fights, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a pretty good record.
Yeah, I mean, he went all the rounds with Corey Sandhagen, guys. I don't think that I don't think that Simón's the guy to beat him via finish. I think Simón's gonna use his wrestling, get the decision. 2 out of 3 rounds, and he'll walk away with it.
I like it. Both on Simón here. I do believe he gets it done. I'm excited to see his future, man. I'm always excited for the ride with these up-and-comers. If he can get through Assunção, big for his career. And I think potential is there for Simón for sure.
If you could get through Assunção, you belong in the UFC. Assunção's got win over Rob Font. I mean, Marlon Moraes. The guy's legit. If you get through Assunção, you belong.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Let's keep on running up the card. I am ecstatic for this next fight because Amanda Lemos is looking like a dangerous prospect. Angela Hill on the opposite side, a tough OG, good Muay Thai striking. I like Lemos's kickboxing here because, with Muay Thai, it's not as much based upon head movement, getting out of the way of strikes, rather blocking, eat one to land one. Lemos hits hard for a girl at 115. When she was up at 35, Leslie Smith TKO'd her. At the end of the day, that's not a bad loss. Leslie Smith has been able to look pretty decent in Bellator against some savages, like Chris Cyborg. I feel like Lemos here against Angela Hill, the matchup favors Lemos. Angela Hill, if she really went out there with a game that I really think she doesn't have in her, because the game plan would involve things that I don't really believe she's capable of. I think Amanda Lemos stylistically is a bad matchup for her. She's physically stronger. I think the wrestling is a factor here. And I also believe the knockout power. I think Lemos could shock us all and sleep Angela Hill. What do you think, Mike? What do you think, bro?
That would shock me. That would shock me. And this is why, AJ, because look at some of Leos's knockouts. Let's say that the knockout over Conejo. The Conejo was charging forward, right? She was charging in at her in a straight line, and the way she walked right into that straight cross, it looked like Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo. That's not the style of striking that Angela Hill has. Angela Hill's not going to run forward at her like she's coming down a sled hill. I really think she's going to be mobile. She's going to use her kicks. She's going to be dynamic. Angela Hill's a problem on the feet as well. I don't expect her to take too much risk, right, on the feet. I think she's going to be relatively technical, keep it relatively sound. Lemos, though, on the ground and in the grappling department, big advantage, AJ. Big advantage, man. She's choked girls unconscious with guillotines and rear naked chokes. And I mean, looking back at her past fights, it was just like, body after body on the ground. Like, she chokes these girls out. It's a statement, man. People always think like, oh, I'm not gonna tap, no, or Justin Gaethje said that, right? Nobody's ever gonna make me tap. I'm never gonna tap. It's like, why? So you could go to you be unconscious? That's worse. It looks worse, bro. The guy's gonna get off of you and you're gonna be a body.
I don't know, man. I think that some guys don't like tapping, bro. It's a thing. Arms tap quick, like fuck that shit. Don't let your arms snap in there. Right. If it's a neck choke and you're like it's like Mark Coleman when he went out against Randy Couture, it looked badass. Like when he went out, I was like, all right, this is a badass. He's saying I'm not tapping on my last fight. But if it was like earlier in his career, you can get away with tapping. I get it. Like tapping is not the end of the world. Poirier just tapped. The choke was fully in. What are you gonna do? Fall asleep for no reason? You're done. It's just like, listen, bro, you got me. You got me done.
Yeah, it looks worse. It looks worse. And you were saying with arm locks, like, what do you want to do? Go out like Nogueira and get your arm ripped in half by Frank Mir? Like, yeah, go home. You want to be able to freaking, I don't know. I would not get choked unconscious when you.
Would you tap as quick as Nunes? Would you tap as quick as Nunes in that?
No.
You wouldn't tap that quick.
Till death in that sense, AJ. Like until death in that sense. Meaning that if I know the windows are closing, I can't get the hand off, right? The choke is around, right? And it's about
you feel everything just
that's when you tap. That's when you tap. Of course, Amanda, on the other hand, was like on her knees, like didn't fight the hands, like tapped out, looked at the referee and like smiled, like, yeah, I just gave up the world title. Yeah. Like, what? What am I looking at? I was shocked, bro. She fought that fight like she had cement in her shoes, the way she was just standing in front of Pena. Anyway, let's get off of that one. I'll go back onto this fight. I like Lemos on the ground. If she can get it there, she's going to finish this girl. I got Lemos with a rear naked strangle.
I like it. I'm glad we're both on not on Angela. We're both against Angela Hill here. She is the dog.
Sorry, Angela.
Angela Hill's gonna be pissed, man.
She does commentary now, so maybe I'll see her around, right?
You might.
Yeah, I gotta watch out and not pick against these people who see me. That's not cool.
If they take it personal, man, they're just overplaying. It's sport at the end of the day, and we gotta give our take. Plus 305 on Angela Hill. I wouldn't play her as a dog, but that money's huge. That's like Angela Hill's an OG, but Amanda Lemos is going to run through her. Minus 300 for Lemos, best value. You'll find her upwards of minus 400. Everybody's on Lemos, man, because it looks as though this is the showcase fight for her. Lemos wins by submission, though. Plus 675.
Huh? Is that right?
Yes. That's crazy.
That's the best bet I've heard all day.
That's insane. Wow. That's a valuable prop. Lemos by KO TKO plus 305. Lemos inside the distance plus 190. There are ways for her to win, but I think knockout could happen, but it also, the submission might be the easier path to victory than sleeping Angela Hill. But, the fight game is crazy.
The path of least resistance, right? Go through the path of least resistance. Lemos most likely will finish this fight by submission. So that's a crazy odd to hear right there. I think the odds makers have that wrong.
Yeah, I agree. It's wildly valuable right now. So get that submission prop for Amanda Lemos while you can, because you're getting the plus 600 money. That's something you don't find often.
A gift from Mike and AJ. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Go.
Don't bet the house, but it's interesting. It's interesting.
Make yourself a little money on Saturday night. Yeah, I get it. Now, the co-main event of the evening, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Belal Muhammad. This is an intriguing matchup. We had a mild conversation off air, but I don't know exactly what you said. We're going to get a deeper dive here. I'll give you my take here. I feel like Wonderboy's karate should be able to fend off the takedown attempts. Belal Muhammad, though, if he gets a hold of Wonderboy, now this game changes. It depends on what Wonderboy is bringing. I mean, he's not getting any younger. He's, nearly 40. He's 38, nearly 39 right now. He's been in there with a lot of high-level competition. Lost to Burns in the last fight, but made it competitive. He was able to survive. I see Wonderboy fighting well from the longer range, moving away from Belal, frustrating him with the stand-up. The thing is, I feel like Belal Muhammad doesn't necessarily bring that one-touch power like a Woodley, where in that case, maybe you sit on the back foot and you make the counter-striker Wonderboy come to you. I don't know if Belal's game will be at the same level to be able to do that. I also don't see him explosive enough to do that as much so. So if you're Belal, you're probably going a lot of pressure here. Wonderboy tends to do well with countering that. I'm going to go decision Wonderboy.
Woo, there we go. Belal Muhammad, my guy. So I used to work at UFC Gym Oak Lawn. Where? Yeah, nobody cares. Oak Lawn, Illinois, way outside of Chicago. And Belal would be there every day. Belal would come in with Lewis Taylor. And there's just like a small group of guys that he works with all the time. And they would come in there, Mike Cannon. They would come in there and they just put in work. Kevin Novacek. And this guy trains just non-stop. The type of cardiovascular shape that Belal Muhammad is the most underrated piece of his game. Belal Muhammad will not get tired. If this was a 5-round fight, I would be real confident in Belal Muhammad, real confident. Luckily for Wonderboy, it's a 3-round fight. Can we start by picking on Wonderboy here for a second? Everybody says this is the nicest guy, right? The most humble guy. What's his nickname? The NMF?
NMF, yeah, nicest motherfucker.
Thank you, AJ. The NMF. All right, let's hear from the NMF here. This is a direct quote, okay? He said, it's kind of hard to fight somebody who doesn't really want to fight. They just want to hold you down. He's speaking of his last fight. But knowing that Belal, he's more of a fighter. I feel like he's an honorable man. He really doesn't want to win a fight that way. Huh? Okay, first of all, Wonderboy. How many times has Wonderboy got in there and made sure anything but a fight broke out? What about the staring contest with Tyron Woodley? What about your style, Wonderboy? I think the best thing Wonderboy can do in this fight is not fight. Just stand in front of each other, fake, touch his knee a little bit, hide back here. That's his best, method to victory. What's Belal's best method to victory? Make this thing a fight. The more times they clash, the more times they engage, the more strikes there are thrown, the better it is for Belal Muhammad. So funny enough, the guy who's criticizing, Gilbert Burns saying, he's essentially insinuating he's not a fighter. He's not an honorable man because he got some takedowns on him. I don't like where his head's at there. That is a victim mentality, dude. I do not like that. Guess what? If you don't want to get held down, don't get taken down. Learn how to wrestle, right? That is the way you can make sure nobody holds you down, okay? And there have been plenty of fighters in UFC history. You can't hold him down. It's not an option. They're getting up. You see what I'm saying? So I don't like where Wonderboy's heads at with that last fight, him making excuses saying, that wasn't an honorable way to win or whatever. It was. It happened. Wonderboy lost. I think Bilal's going to go through those same holes. The more of a fight that takes place, the more I like Bilal in this one. If it's 5 rounds, I'm betting the frickin' house. It's only 3 rounds. Bilal's going to take it, man. I like him in this one. He's got to be able to close the distance on a striker that is really rangy. Let's give one more shout out to Bilal Muhammad. Bilal has now fought the best grappler in the UFC, the most accomplished grappler in the UFC, Damian Maia. Now he's got to beat the most accomplished striker, the kickboxing champions, Wonderboy Thompson. Very cool matchups for Bilal. I got Bilal decision with a high output performance. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. I mean, at the end of the day, Wonderboy saying that isn't really the best thing to hear if you're thinking about betting on him. I am not on the side of betting Wonderboy. I'll pick him to win by a decision if he can keep Bilal off of him. For Bilal's career, this is an awesome opportunity. He's 33. It's now or never towards contendership. He's taken the right fights. He's took the fight with Leon Scott, or a.k.a. Leon Edwards, as they call him. And we'll follow Colby on that. But at the end of the day, he fought against him. He had the eye poke, whatever. It's a no contest. They didn't run it back. Beats Damian Maia, huge win. Yeah. Now you give him Wonderboy. You beat Wonderboy. Bilal Muhammad's talking title contention, or being fed to Khamzat Chimaev, which is unfortunate that they might do that to him. That's because he
wants it.
Man.
He wants it. He wants it. He asked for it.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that about Bilal.
Yeah,
he's a fighter. Yeah. He's gonna come to win, though. I don't know what Wonderboy's talking about because I've seen some awful Wonderboy fights, and where it's just it's like looks more like. Have you seen Point Karate in the Olympics? Have you ever watched it? Did you watch this last Olympics where the guy gets the head kick knockout and they DQ him? He gets a silver,
and he lost.
He lost.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about?
I don't know. I'm sorry. That's an off subject.
That's not what I mean. I'm saying why? Right. What are we talking about? That the guy who won by knockout lost the fight. He kicked him too hard. What are we talking about? That's crazy, AJ. It's crazy.
I didn't understand that. But really where I'm getting at is if you watch how like slower pace and if they're standing away, they go for one, whatever, one big strike type thing. It looks like Wonderboy because that's the base, right? The karate style.
Yep.
I think he could do that type of fight to Bilal here if he just stays away from him, essentially runs. So I don't know. His quote is making me want to pick against him here because I'm like, he's not there in Elkins. He's not sitting in there in the pocket mixing it up.
Yeah.
He's side kicking and circling. And maybe we'll get a few punches in there here and there. So I don't know. We'll go Wonderboy, but you're making me want to go the other side just with that.
That's my job, right? That's my job. I got to hype these guys. That's my boy, too. Bilal Muhammad. Shout out to Oak Lawn. Shout out to just Orland Park, Chicago Ridge, the whole freaking hood over there. These guys have just, seen Bilal storm onto the scene in the UFC, and it is so cool to slowly see them get their respect. Nobody knew who these guys were a few years ago, and then Lewis Taylor goes and wins the PFL tournament, and Bilal's in these big fights, so it's just awesome to see, dude. Really, really cool to see Bilal at this level. I'm telling you, if he has high output in this fight, he's going to look good.
I like it, bro. And I mean, money-wise, you're looking at the bet. You're better off going Bilal. You're getting plus 200. That's not bad. Bilal wins by a unanimous decision is sitting at about plus 300. I'd prefer money line dog play if you were to do it. Exciting fight and definitely understandable. A dogger pass style one. Fight goes the distance is minus 225, which I don't really love that one there.
I think most likely it does. Most likely,
I think it goes distance.
Yeah, so I think that's like the money is correct there. The odds are correct in that. I think the most likely scenario, these two go all three.
Yeah, I agree. So you are on Bilal. I am on Wonderboy. But we'll see what happens, man. That's a good one. I like that we got a different pick in the co-main. I'm very curious where we're going to go with the main event. Guys, if you're tuning in and you haven't yet, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Keep it locked in here at MMA Experts. I am joined by Mike Finch, the OG, the savage, the legend, to lead us off with the final card of the year. This is the money line, and we're going after this main event. Mike, I'm going to tell you straight out the gate, this one is realistically one shot over type fight. Where are you on this fight? What do you think? Like, where's your head at when you're picking a fight like this one?
Where my head goes when I pick a fight like this one is I think about fighters like Darren Elkins, who never quits. And then I think about fighters like Derek Lewis, who is never out of a fight. The guy always carries a lunchbox right here. And if he bashes you over the head with that lunchbox, it is a wrap. People underestimate just how big and powerful this guy is. If you like broke down the Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis fight, you're like, okay, who's better at submissions? Well, Curtis Blades. Who's a better wrestler? Well, Curtis Blades. Who's a more technical striker? Well, Curtis Blades. One punch knockout and it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah, his head was somewhere in the row's back. It was insane uppercut, insane. So when you got somebody who has that much power, you start to question, like, how do I know when they're going to land the shot, and what are the things I can look for? Well, Cyril Gane showed us if you use a little bit of technique, you stay on the balls of your feet, you keep a good bounce, hit them in the body a little bit, you could start working them over and picking your shots. Daniel Cormier showed us if you could just come hard with that wrestling, move your head so he can't hit you, get a hold of him, get him on the ground, you could beat Lewis. So we've seen a couple pathways to victory. So I do like Daukaus in this fight. I do like that Daukaus, throws combinations, and he's been in there with some punchers as well. I like his speed and his activity, man. His activity is like 10 times that of Derek Lewis. If you're going to pick a decision in this fight, I have to go Daukaus. If it's a 5-round decision, if you just told me, hey, Mike, I can't tell you who won the fight, I'm from the future, but it went all 5, I'm going to go Daukaus, of course. He's going to kick those legs, kick that calf, throw that jab out there, stay active, right?
You got somebody from the future sending you your picks, man. I would have just fight goes the distance bet, baby.
Exactly. Look, I'm just saying, because there's no output. Where is Lewis's output? How many times have we seen Derek Lewis in a fight where it just looks like he's just waiting for the guy to really unload?
Majority. I'd say that's most of, like, that's how he fights. He's like a waiting fighter. You're coming after him. He's sitting there. He's waiting for one strike. And like we always talk about, we don't want to pick a guy who has one punch to win. That's the only shot. Daukaus is the better technical martial artist. We have to talk about that. He definitely has crispier boxing, if we'd have to say that. But you got the stone fist in Derek Lewis. And when you fight a guy with stones, you look at Deontay Wilder, not at the same technical level as Tyson Fury, was able to drop him multiple times. This is MMA. The gloves are a lot smaller. Derek Lewis hits insanely hard. I don't know. It's a scary one to play. I want to hear what you have to say before I give it away. I don't know if you know my pick either.
I don't, but I saw Daukaus in one of his last fights. I am going to destroy this dude's name, but Abdurahimov.
Shamil Abdurahimov.
Oh, thank you, AJ. AJ coming through with the pronunciation. Look, I saw somebody commenting on the last one, like, you guys got to learn how to pronounce their names. Guilty. When I go in to do commentary, it takes me hours. I'm like listening to different people say it. Did Joe Rogan say it right? Like, who could I trust? So that name, he found Daukaus with a couple right hands, one big overhand right that found the home. If Derek Lewis finds that shot, is Daukaus going to be able to take it? I'm going to say no, AJ. I'm going to go with Lewis with a one-punch KO.
I am like, this is hard, man. This is one of the ones that I'm torn this whole week. Earlier in the week, I was on Daukaus. But as this week's going on, I don't know if it's just a feeling in the air. I don't know if it's the Christmas spirit or something. I feel like there's a chance.
The sweater.
I don't know. It might be the sweater, bro. I feel like
that's what it is. It's the sweater.
It's the sweater, bro. That must be it. Because I feel as though Derek Lewis might be bringing home the Christmas present of all presents, the knockout bonus, sleeping Daukaus in an all-time classic knockout. Daukaus, I look at him clinching up Lewis. I'm fearful that even though Daukaus has the better technical ground game, everything's technically better, Lewis is just a superior human being. He's just, there's a different level. Like, we talked about the skill gaps between guys. Derek Lewis's physicality is probably craziest because he literally needs one punch and he ends you. There's no, a follow-up needed. He sleeps everybody he touches. I'm fearful on this one. I'm going to see how they look at the weigh-ins. I'm going to hold on to the Chris Daukaus pick. But betting side of things, I'm definitely going to be leaning towards knockout for Derek Lewis. It's just, I'm torn, man. I'm very torn. And the more we're talking about this, and even all week long, I've been all over this fight, and it's tricky for me, man.
100% with you, man. I've been going back and forth myself. Listen, I think the activity of Daukaus is a good thing if he's super responsible. Super responsible. Don't be freaking banging with Derek Lewis. Just kick that calf and move around, right? But again, the activity I think could hurt him, dude. I think the activity, right? Lewis loves it. He's like, yeah, come throw some shots at me so I can move my head off the center line and bang this overhand right. I think the activity is going to get him in trouble. He'll be winning the fight up until the point he gets flatlined. Let me say this one thing. Normally, when somebody loses a title fight, especially in the UFC, actually, but when somebody loses a title fight, they take a while to come back, if ever. Like, they lose a couple. They don't look as good after losing a title fight, especially in the way that Lewis did. Lewis proved me wrong after that first DC title fight loss. I thought, okay, that's the peak of Derek Lewis. Sure enough, he comes back with crazy KOs again. He did that Curtis Blades one we talked about after the DC fight. Here he comes again, gets that title shot, loses. What's he going to look like bouncing back? If you guys heard him at the pre-fight press conference, Derek Lewis is like, I got to buy my daughter a car. Maybe he's thinking knockout bonus, guys. That's how he's funding it. I can't bet against Derek Lewis. I did it once when my friend Curtis Blades fought. I can't call him my friend. Somebody I've met a couple times. A really nice guy from Chicago. He goes to the local events. I try to hang out with him the whole time. Super nice, down-to-earth guy. Literally started training at UFC Gym Lombard, where I used to work. That's where he started training for the first time ever. So I've known him since then. Had to bet for him. Lewis decapitates him. I can't bet against Lewis again. I'm going Lewis knockout.
Dude, I'm literally sitting here just taking in everything you're saying. And I'm sorry, man. I'm thinking about the fight more. And every time I'm seeing this fight play through, I'm seeing Daukaus winning rounds and Derek Lewis just needing one touch. Yeah. And I feel like he's done it so many times. If I'm gonna stay against him, I feel like that's a problem. I think live, I'm gonna have to switch the pick right the fuck now, man. I've been feeling it all week, man.
We got him. We got him, guys.
We're gonna see the weigh-ins. I gotta see him on the scales. If the scales somehow change my mind, tentative pick. I was on Daukaus earlier, but it's like it was a coin flipper for me. I'm like, man, Derek Lewis though, having 5 rounds. If it's a 3-round fight, I think Daukaus has a much better shot because there's a certain game plan. You can just try to hug Lewis. You can put him in bad positions, maybe stay the hell away from him and just run. You got 5 rounds to work. I don't see Daukaus as a 5-round cardio heavyweight.
Look, let me give you one more stat. Daukaus, 230 pounds. Derek Lewis, 266, okay? He's got that size advantage too, AJ. It could come
and they're both strikers, man. If Daukaus had better offensive wrestling, we would be having a whole different conversation.
Oh, yeah.
From what we have seen, he has a good jiu-jitsu base, but he wants to stand up. Unfortunately, you know what disappoints me here is I've always wanted maybe the Daukaus-Stipe fight because it's cop versus fireman type shit, right? But after if Derek Lewis decapitates him on Saturday night, we might not be getting that fight for a very long time. So
former cop. He just left. He had to leave. He said it at the pre-fight press conference. He wanted to do a leave of absence. He kept saying, "Hey, please, can I come back to being a police officer? I need a couple weeks off." They told him no. He had to quit. He's done. Wow. He's not going to go back to being a cop. It's over for him. So now
he makes some money, man.
Exactly. Now he's focused on his UFC career. So I like where Daukaus' head is at. Listening to that pre-fight speech, that's what brought me back to like, oh, who's going to win? Because I really liked where his head was at. He's a smart guy. He's doubling down on himself by quitting his job and really focusing on his UFC career. All good stuff. Lewis outweighs him by 35 pounds. Is he going to be able to get that takedown? I think a lot of guys who lock up with Lewis are like, oh shit, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Curtis Blades, beast mode of a wrestler.
Yeah.
He can manhandle big men. He couldn't do it to Derek Lewis. He was actually outstriking him, crazy enough. You think that you're outstriking Derek Lewis and he hits you one time. He's going to be there the whole time. But like guys like Ciryl Gane, it's a different level. Guy like a prime, a better Junior Dos Santos technical. Mark Hunt. These are K1 champion level Mark Hunt. You have Junior Dos Santos, who's elite level MMA striking. You have Ciryl Gane, who's undefeated kickboxing, Muay Thai, I believe specifically, and MMA. Ciryl Gane's a different level. These guys that he's lost to recently are different levels. I don't think Daukaus is the level. You're right. But you know what? The only fight that comes to me, and sometimes I'm like, there's a chance here. Matt Mitrione did sleep him in 15 seconds. Way back. Do you remember that fight?
Meerschaert is one of the most underrated heavyweights ever, dude. One of the most underrated guys ever. Very tall, very long, fast right hand. Yes, absolutely, man. Meerschaert, everybody sleeps on Meerschaert. Meerschaert's a problem, dude. He was one of like the top 5 or 6 fighters in the world for a minute there.
Yeah, he was a bad man for a while. Well, guys, if you're tuning in and you haven't yet, smash the like button, show some love to the channel. The final segment. We need the money line, the last money line play of the year. Mike, I will allow you to go first in the Christmas spirit.
So kind. So kind. Thank you so much. Guys, this is a really tough one to pick. If I'm just looking at the paper, right, I'm really thinking that Lemos is going to beat Hill, and like that is like my most confident pick, right, is that Lemos is just a little better on the feet, competitive, but much better in grappling. So I like her in that fight. Tough card to pick. But for my lock of the night, let's go with Belal Muhammad. My guy is going to get it done. You are going to see Belal Muhammad put a high activity pace on Wonderboy, and Wonderboy is going to try to figure out how to catch up when he's in that third round. He's not going to do it. Belal Muhammad's going to stay a little bit ahead of him this entire fight. It's going to be an output problem for Wonderboy. I'm going Belal Muhammad for my lock of the night.
If you get this, you're genius, my man. So I love that call. I am going to go Mateusz Gamrot over Diego Ferreira. I have high faith in this up-and-coming prospect. The value to me, not bad here, sitting officially at about minus 175 for your lock of the night. You're looking at nearly plus 200 for Belal Muhammad. 2 wild locks of the night. The money line plays. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is another episode of the Money Line. Mike, it's great as always to chat it up about these fights. I'm so glad we got this thing going. I'm glad we do it live, man. I really enjoy the live flow that we get going. No script, nothing. We go off the top and let's get it started, man.
I love it, brother. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. We always appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember, this is not financial advice, guys. You got to do your research. You got to be confident in what you're betting in. We're giving you our take from 2 guys who have watched this sport for me, my whole freaking life, man. I love this shit. Guys, if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Mike Finch MMA, youtube.com/Mike Finch. You guys literally just type in Mike Finch MMA, see my content. I fight people in cages. I interview people. Got some cool content coming out in January, and every single card we are here for Moneyline, guys. Tune in. We love hanging out with you guys, and in the Christmas spirit, Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Have a lovely holiday. I will see you guys for the next card. Can't wait to get back on here and break down some more fights. Enjoy, guys. Have a wonderful Christmas. And AJ, thank you so much for having me on, brother. Absolutely love talking to you for these fights.
Course,
you give a lot of good analytics and a good viewpoint for these people to see. I love that we go back and forth on these ones and kind of get these different perspectives, right? So I really have enjoyed these past ones, and it makes the cards more fun for me. When I'm watching these fights, I'm freaking amped because I know I told you guys who's going to win, and now I got to live up to it, right? So when Charles beat Dustin Poirier, it just fired me up more because I picked him for lock of the night. So it's like this stuff, right? It's gonna make Belal Muhammad and Wonderboy that much more fun for me to watch. I hope you guys are having fun with it too. Much love.
Well, bro, I'm glad you're here. This was the last show of the Money Line for 2021. We're gonna get an absence of fights, which sucks, man. I don't want to, go away for a while. So I'll be on the channel consistently. I'll be posting reaction videos to different things. I'll have my late night live, potentially me and Mike. We'll do a Money Line casual style show where we're just going to chat it up, MMA news, boxing news, whatever. But guys, if you're watching this and you haven't checked out my newest series, it is The Boxing Beat. Very recent upload. It premiered today. First ever upload. We talked about Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley 2, Artur Beterbiev versus Marcus Brown. We have Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. Woo! Great fights. And we really are going to jump a little bit onto the boxing train a bit. So if the people haven't seen it, I'm letting you know. Check out The Boxing Beat. The first ever episode was uploaded today. It's on the channel. Do me a favor. Smash the like button on this video. If you're new, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. Run to The Boxing Beat. Check that out. We got this week's best MMA bets. Me doing UFC full card predictions. Check Mike's channel out as well. Guys, we appreciate you. Much love. Signing off. We'll be back very soon, guys. Peace.
We will be back. Peace out, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays.